guys, welcome back to Loving It on Phuket. This is the second video in a series about Big Buddha Phuket. In the first video, we started to take a look at one of the biggest attractions there is on the island of Phuket. In the first video, we took a general look at the grounds, the monument's ongoing construction, what it's like traveling up to the monument, as well as the lower level and the infamous viewpoint. If you didn't get a chance to watch Big Buddha Phuket Part 1, you can view it by tapping or clicking the teaser card in the top right hand of the screen. In this video, we're going to go on a tour around the base of the Big Buddha Phuket monument. We will take a look at the various statues you will see there, and try to get an understanding for who or what they represent, as well as some of the history behind them. In Part 3, we'll take a look at Big Buddha Phuket's exterior, the monument's interior, and the rear gardens. Don't forget to subscribe to Lovin' It on Phuket and activate alerts so you will know when the next video is available for viewing, as well as other great content from Phuket, Thailand, and beyond. Now, let's take a look at Big Buddha Phuket, Part 2, the monument's base. There's a lot more at Big Buddha Phuket than a giant monument and a viewpoint. Looking down towards the base of the statue, there's many other smaller statues and religious idols. Immediately in front of Big Buddha is a relatively new Buddha statue. It's in the same pose as the main monument. Even though the statue looks a lot smaller because it's in front of the monument, it's still quite large. Eventually, this statue will probably be painted gold. Immediately behind the white Buddha and to the left is a statue depicting King Chulalongkorn the Great, Rama V. King Chulalongkorn the Great is also known by the alias Phra Maharat, which means the Great King who is beloved. His major achievements are the modernization of the country, the abolishment of slavery, and the protection of the religious freedoms. He received Buddha's relics from British India, and he is the first king of Thailand to visit Phuket in 1871 and 1890. Immediately behind the white Buddha and to the right is King Naresuan the Great. King Naresuan the Great was the king who regained independence for Siam from the first Burmese occupation of Siam. He declared independence for the kingdom in 1584 and expanded the territory of the kingdom considerably. King Narai the Great and King Rama I the Great both ordered the construction of King Naresuan's statues. His memorials have also been built in many places throughout Thailand. His image appears on the provincial emblems of Suphanburi, Tak, and Nongbalampu. Garuda is a part bird, part human creature that is prominent in Buddhism and Hinduism. Garuda is found in many parts of Big Buddha Phuket, as well as in most temples, and Garuda is the national emblem of Thailand. While Garudas may adorn the same temples as Naga, Buddhist texts depict the two creatures as enemies who constantly clash with one another. Away from temples, the Garuda represents the authority of the King of Thailand and can be found on government documents as well as banknotes. The Erawan is the elephant that is the vehicle of the Indra in Brahmanism Hinduism. It is the god of all elephants. It is attested in Thailand's literature, Triumphum Phra Ruang, which is said to be a deity in the heaven who transforms himself to be a 33-headed elephant. It is a symbol of fertility, which appears as many sculptures in many places and logos of many government agencies in Thailand. For aesthetics, the Erawan is usually drawn having only 3 heads. And now we'll continue on around the right-hand side of the base of the monument. King Taksin the Great, great king who gained independence for Siam and reigned from December 28, 1767 to April 6, 1782. Although warfare took up most of Taksin's time, he paid a great deal of attention to the welfare of the country. He promoted trade and fostered relations with foreign countries, including China, Britain, and the Netherlands. He had roads built and canals dug. The great King Taksin attempted to revive literature and various branches of the arts, such as drama, painting, architecture, and handicrafts. King Taksin also issued regulations for the collection and arrangement of various texts to promote education and religious studies. Luang Por Kem was a former abbot at Chalong Temple and one of the most honored monks in Phuket. He led the citizens of the Chalong sub-district in fighting against the Chinese rebellion in 1876. It was his vast knowledge of herbal medicine that aided in the healing of the majority of the injured. Somdep Thachanto was one of Thailand's most famous Buddhist monks during Thailand's Ratanakosin period and continues to be the most widely known and honored monk in the country. The illegitimate son of King Rama II, Somdep Thachanto, studied the Buddhist scriptures of the Pali Canon with several Buddhist masters. After becoming a well-known monk, he became the preceptor for Prince Mongkut, later King Rama IV. Somdep Thachanto was noted for the skill of his preaching and his use of Thai poetry to reflect the beauty of Buddhism. He was also known for making amulets. The amulets were blessed by himself and other respected monks in Thailand. Somdep Thachanto also appears in many versions of the story of the ghost Maenak Phra Kanong, and he is said to be the one to finally subdue her. Somdep Thachanto wrote the Jinapen Yara, a protective magical incantation which is widely chanted and used by the Thais. Luang Pu Mun, born Ayan Mun in Ban Kam Bong, a farming village in Ubon Ratchathani, was ordained as a monk in 1893 and spent the remainder of his life wandering through Thailand, Burma, and Laos, dwelling for the most part in the forest, engaged in the practice of meditation. Mun's mode of practice was solitary and strict. He followed the Vinaya, or monastic discipline, faithfully, and also observed many of what are known as the classic Dhutanga or ascetic practices, such as living off alms food, wearing robes made of cast-off rags, dwelling in the forest, and eating only one meal a day. Monks following this tradition are known as Chudong. Searching out secluded places in the wilds of Thailand and Laos, Mun avoided the responsibilities of settled monastic life and spent long hours of the day and night in meditation. In spite of his reclusive nature, Mun attracted a large following of students, willing to put up with the hardships of forest life just to get a chance to study with him. Luang Por Sod was ordained as a monk in 1905 at the age of 20. He was a disciple of Luang Por Niam of Wat Noi and was determined in practicing the path to enlightenment taught by the Buddha. Luang Por Sod was the abbot and founder of Wat Pak Nam Temple School in Bangkok and attained Wikadhammayaya in 1916. Wikadhammayaya is said to be a very supernatural Dhamma, and with his intermediate level practice, he was said to be able to bring miracles. Examples of these miracles were creating weather in an area at wish, healing sickness that the modern medicine was unable to cure, finding hidden or lost objects, seeing into the future or back into the past, seeing a person's destiny, karma, and there was much more. Luang Por Sod passed away in 1959 at the age of 75 after contributing greatly to advancing Buddhism throughout his life. Chatukam Ramatap, the angel that guards Wat Mahatat in Nakhon Si Thammarat. The story of Chatukam Ramatap starts many centuries ago. There once lived a king and his princes in central Siam. The elder prince was named Jatukam, and the other named Ramatap. It was a time of war and turmoil. After many years of war, the king managed to conquer Sri Lanka and make it part of his kingdom. It was said the king possessed a treasure, the holy relics of the Lord Buddha. Before the king journeyed to his newly conquered land, he tasked the protection of the relics to the two princes and ordered them to guard it with their lives. Sometime later, the princes intercepted a plan by their enemies to capture the relics. They immediately informed the king in Sri Lanka. The king instructed the princes to quickly take the relics to Sri Lanka by sea. Halfway through the journey, a thunderstorm struck and their ships were sunk. Only the two princes survived. Unharmed, the two princes washed ashore. They could no longer bring the relics to Sri Lanka because they had no ships. The princes started praying sincerely to the relics and asking if they had arrived at a new holy land, and vowed to start new lives there, guarding the relics. The two princes built a temple, Wat Mahatat, and established a city named in remembrance of the great deeds by the two princes in their honor, Nakhon-si Tamarat. The two princes had done many great deeds, and the greatest was erecting the temple to house the relics. They promised to guard the relics with their lives. They had earned respect from both the heavenly and earthly beings. Later, the people combined the two princes and gave him the name Tao Chadukam Ramatep when praying to him. In olden days, Tao was used to address noble ones. Ramatep is one of the most respected and popular deities in southern Thailand. It is believed that those that pray to Ramatep will be blessed with a fulfilling life that is better in all aspects. Luangpur Udama was a Mon Buddhist monk. He was originally a Burmese citizen and later fled to Thailand in 1947 during the Burmese Civil War. Udama was known and revered by the citizens of Burma and Thailand for his profound, intensive Buddhist teachings. Luangpur Udama founded Wat Wang Wokaram in Sangkhlaburi, Thailand, and gave shelter to Mon refugees who fled from Burma. In 1997, Udama paid a formal visit to Myanmar, visited Rangoon, and was honored with the title Agamaha Pandita by Kin Nyunt, Burmese Prime Minister at the time. Udama passed away on the 18th of October 2006 at the age of 96 and was paid tribute at his funeral by former Premier of Thailand, General Suryad Chalong. Kruba Swirwachai was a Thai Buddhist monk born in 1878 to a humble peasant family in Ban Pang. Early accounts suggest that on the day that he was born, there was a heavy thunderstorm, and he was given the name Phehong, meaning thunder. From an early age, Phehong expressed serious interest in Buddhism, as he believed that his family's present state of poverty was a consequence of his misbehavior in a previous life. As a result, he became a well-behaved monk, so his parents would have a better life. Phehong was ordained as a monk in 1899 at Wat Bang Hong Wang, at which point he took the religious name of Phra Sirakai and went on to study with his first teacher, Kruba Katia, in Wat Bang Pan. Kruba Swirachai is best known for the building of many temples in his time, including Mount Sutta. He is remembered for his charismatic personality and his political conflict with local authorities. Kruba Swirachai passed away February 21st, 1939, at the age of 60. Portan Kray was the senior monk who founded Isiaden Sangha House in Phuket. Beyond that, there is not very much information available about him at this time, but we'll keep looking and get back to you. Luangpu Teplak Udorn was a legendary Buddhist missionary monk who introduced Buddhism to Southeast Asia. Luangpu Tod was born in 1582. He is mentioned in the early regional histories of southern Thailand, and his life is mainly preserved in oral traditions. Stories of the famous monk were passed on by word of mouth for centuries. As a result, it is a mixture of Buddhist elements, early signs, alleged magic, travel, study, meditation, and eventual sainthood. His movements throughout the southern Thai peninsula constitute a path of pilgrimage for many of his followers. Luangpu Tot has also been said to have saved countless lives of people, be it in the battlefield, car accidents, armed robbery, or more, with his sacred amulets. Phra Bokem is a saint and notable monk from the era of King Ashoka the Great. At the rear of the monument, there are two very large Buddha statues, still under construction. These statues have been under construction for quite some time, and it is unsure when they'll be completed. The first Buddha statue is to express fearlessness, the Abhaya Mudra. It is also called Forbidding the Relatives, or Pangham Yat. The second statue is in the Vitarka Mudra for reasoning and exposition. This mudra signifies an appeal to reason and is often interpreted as an appeal for peace. Moving on down the other side of the base, we come across various Buddha statues representing the poses for the days of the week. Sunday, 7 days looking, Pang Tawe Nat. The Sunday Buddha is a pose where Buddha is standing with arms crossed in front of the waist, with the right hand covering the left hand. It is said Buddha obtained enlightenment while sitting under the Bodhi tree, a large and very old sacred fig tree. This representation is of a time just after Buddha obtained enlightenment, when for gratitude he stood and admired the Bodhi tree for 1 week without blinking an eye. Monday, pacifying the relatives. Pangham Yati. The Monday Buddha is a pose where Buddha is standing with the right hand raised to shoulder height, with the palm out and the fingers extended. It is also called the Abhaya Mantra. This is a representation of Buddha pacifying the relatives. It is said that when Buddha returned from heaven after 3 months, his relatives were arguing about the rights to water flowing through their land. Buddha persuaded them to compromise and pacified the conflict. Tuesday, realizing nirvana. Pangsay Yat. The Tuesday Buddha pose is lying on his right side, head resting on his arm, toes even. While the Lord Buddha was staying at Savatthi, there was an arrogant evil named Asura Rahu. Asura Rahu was gigantic and didn't pay respect to the Lord Buddha. So the Lord Buddha made himself bigger than the evil, in a reclining position as to lower the pride of Asura Rahu. Wednesday, before noon, or Wednesday morning, Pangumbat. The Buddha pose for Wednesday is standing and holding an alms bowl with both hands. It indicates the time Buddha returned to see his father after 4 years in his ministry. In the early morning, monks make their alms rounds to collect food. Buddha did the same, and his father was appalled that Buddha was begging for food. Buddha calmed his father, informing him that the lineage of Buddhas was to perform pindabat, to be available to followers who devotedly bring food. Wednesday evening. The Wednesday evening Buddha pose represents Buddha showing respect for all living things, sitting with his right hand slightly raised in front of a monkey and an elephant. It is said that while retreating in the forest, the elephant offered Buddha drinking water and the monkey offered him honey. Thursday, the Meditating Buddha, Pang Samti. The Thursday Buddha pose is of Buddha sitting in a full lotus position, with soles upwards and visible, hands resting in his lap, right hand above the left, with all fingers extended, palms upward, and is also called the Dhyani Mudra. It is said that after receiving bundles of grass from Sotia, Buddha scattered it and made it as a seat under the banyan tree. There he made a vow. Skin, sinew, and bone may dry up as they will. My flesh and my blood may dry in my body. But without attaining complete enlightenment, I will not leave this seat. And it is said that with his strong determination, he achieved enlightenment. Friday, Contemplating Buddha, Pang Ram Pueng. The Friday Buddha is Buddha posed, standing with both arms crossed over the chest, with the right hand covering the left. It is said that a short period after the enlightenment, while the Lord Buddha stayed under the banyan tree, he stated that it was too difficult for ordinary people to understand Dharma and bring it into practice. He was discouraged from teaching Dharma. At this time, he stated, "This Dharma that I have found is profound, hard to see, hard to understand. It is peaceful, sublime, beyond the sphere of mere reasoning, subtle, to be experienced by the wise. But this generation takes delight in attachment, is delighted by attachment, rejoices in attachment, and as such, it is hard for them to see this truth, namely nirvana." However, with his great mercy and loving kindness, Lord Buddha clearly understood that living creatures possess different habits, just like the nature of a lotus. Saturday, protected by the Naga King, Pang Nak Prak. Unlike the other statues found around the base of the monument, the Saturday pose Buddha can be found in the rear garden and is significantly larger than the other statues. The Saturday Buddha pose is Buddha sitting in meditation in full lotus position on the coiled body of the Naga Muchalinda, using its head as a cover against rain. This pose represents a time during the 6th week after Siddhartha's enlightenment, when the Naga king protected the meditating Buddha against heavy rainfall by making a shelter with his multi-headed hood, and lifted him above the floodwaters by coiling his body underneath Buddha. And finally, as we make our way back to the front of the monument, there's a couple more statues of the Garuda. Thanks for watching Loving It on Phuket. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more great videos from Phuket, Thailand, Southeast Asia, and beyond. Happy traveling!